What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 13 of our HEXAGON challenge here with Waitakere United in the ASB Premiership. And today, as promised last time around, we're back for the Oceanic Champions League, and we're actually back for the semi-final, where we're going to be taking on Auckland City for a shot at our second kind of continental competition. Granted, we've already done this once before, last year, of course. Since the last episode, which was a little bit of an international special, there's not been too much going on. I'll give you guys a quick rundown of how we've been doing in competitions at club level. We actually got knocked out the Chatham Cup in the semi-final to Melville United. Pretty disappointing. We went out on penalties. We were actually winning this game 3-2. And then they scored in the 90th minute to take it to extra time. And from there, well, it just didn't go our way, did it? As you can see here, finished 4-3 on penalties, 2 misses. Rayner and Butler, the culprits that kind of, I guess, hurt us there. In terms of in the league, we're doing fairly well. We are currently 2 points ahead of Auckland City, who of course we play today. Pretty big game for us. In the kind of Oceanic Champions League. You'd expect the winner of this semi-final to be the team that wins the entire thing. Just a quick rundown of how we got this far, of course. If you watch the last kind of longer episode, episode 10, where we did the last year's Oceanic Champions League, you kind of know how this works. I don't know why all our players are turning into Smurfs again. That happens far too often. But yeah, you can see if we just have a quick look. We were in Group C. We won all 3 of our games. It was a plus 13 goal difference. AS Dragons, the only team to score against us. We beat Hikari United 8-0. We beat Tafia 3-0. We then beat AS Dragons, as I mentioned, 3-1. Pretty good performances. As I did last year, you might remember, I rested all my players for the entire tournament. I completely rotated my team for this third game of the group stage, the one against AS Dragon, knowing that we were probably going to be playing in the semi-final. And, well, you don't have much time to recover in the Oceanic Champions League because the entire tournament is played in 2 weeks. Anyway, we're going to get straight into today's game. Just a quick look at our squad for this match. We are taking on, of course, Auckland City. One new addition to tell you guys about in the squad, Jason Spector. Another American. Very original, aren't I, with these signings? This guy, though, lacks consistency and apparently injury prone. But I'll tell you what, so far for us, been a fantastic player. 18 years old, good in the air, good down on the deck, got good pace. 8 goals in 10 games for him. Been a very good player, as you can see there. We signed him from Chicago Magic. So this is the team we're going to go with. We go with Iago in goal, the Brazilian. Nothing too fancy going on there. Left back Reniga, Williams, Rayner and Halucha. That is the back 5 that, of course, played for us throughout the Club World Championship. In midfield, we're going to go with Lozano, who is another newer signing. He's an American player, very, very fast. Love this guy, really athletic, good defensively, good tackling and marking, as you can see. We then are going to be playing Chris James alongside him. 30 years old James now. Not the best season. In fact, it's been quite a forgettable one compared to last year particularly. But he's still doing an okay job for us this year. And then in the final third, we go with Rivera and Chettelberg out on the wings. Rivera, one of our big goal scorers really this year. Chettelberg, who of course we signed in our first season at the club. He has just been probably the best player at the club, to be honest. You can see here a 7.66 average rating so far this season in the league. Last year he got 15 goals and 17 assists. Didn't think he was going to be able to surpass that, but he absolutely has smashed it so far this year. 19 goals and 20 assists for this guy. Doesn't look like the craziest player when you just look at his attributes, but he just performs, doesn't he? Anyway, centre attacking mid we go with Ruffer, who I've of course signed. He has now signed a contract extension, which is good. He was originally going to be leaving at the end of the season, but I've managed to convince him to stay the 21-year-old. And then, as I mentioned already, we have Spector up front. On the bench, we have Josh Noto, who is our top goal scorer, I believe, this season with 23 goals. He might have slipped down a little bit. Unfortunately for him, he did get a fairly long-term injury. You can see he tore his hamstring and was out for 3 months. Been a really big miss for us, and really with Spector coming in, he's kind of been demoted to the bench. Other players on the bench to keep an eye out on. We have Jake Butler here, our kind of rock in the defensive midfielder position of play. We can bring on nice kind of intelligent player. We've also got Paxton Gorski, good kind of winger to be able to bring on with a load of pace if the game's kind of close with not long left. Dan Probert, the 16-year-old. Now, he's had his birthday. He, of course, was generated at us at the age of 14. You can see this year he's played a lot of first-team football for us in the league, and he's done a pretty good job. But yeah, that's the team. I'm pretty happy with this squad that we have. Of course, it'd be amazing if we could win a second Oceanic Champions League. This is pretty much the final, at least the way I'm looking at it. The other semi-final is contested between 2 far weaker teams. And I really, really want to beat Auckland City again. We did knock them out in the Chatham Cup, kind of the FA Cup equivalent, which was pretty pleasing this year. I think we beat them 3-0 and then drew the second leg 0-0. So yeah, we've done pretty well against them this year. It is, of course, worth mentioning and worth reminding you guys that they are our rivals. We beat them last year in the final of this competition, but with the exception of that, I've never really had the best record in the world against them. Anyway, I'm going to tell the players here expecting to get a win to keep our run going. I'm then going to try and encourage them. Not the best team talk in the world, but it could have been worse, I guess. And yeah, I'm hoping and praying that we can get a second Oceanic Champions League title. Of course, if we win this game, we'll do the final in this episode. If we lose this game, well, there is no final to speak of. And to my knowledge, there is no third, fourth place playoff in this competition, which would be a bit of a shame. But yeah, the reason we are, of course, still here, as Chettelberg misses a sitter, is because we can't find a new job. I've actually had a few job offers, as I mentioned, but I actually feel like it's kind of worth me staying at Waitakere to the end of this season. My contract runs up in the summer, then kind of moving on to greener pastures afar. I feel like the fact we're in the Oceanic Champions League and that we didn't have a job by kind of January time, it seemed a bit silly just to leave the club when there's a big competition that we can use to boost our rep. I say big kind of in a contextual sense. There are plenty of other trophies we could win that would help our rep more, but this competition's fairly quote-unquote easy as we score to make it 1-0, and so it kind of made sense to stay here, try and win this with Waitakere. If we can win the league as well, you know, it all gets added to my CV and will help me find a job this summer. And at the moment, we're doing very well here. We've had 2 clear-cut chances, but we have finally scored. Spectre involved in the build-up, Halucha, their French right-back, there, and then Ruffer with a nice little finish. He's not the best player in the air, but he's put a nice little finish there on the volley. The ball whipped in nice and low for him. And we do make things 1-0. It's worth noting, of course, Oceanic Champions League. This is a single-legged match that will go to extra time and penalties. It's not this European or Asian or any other Champions League 2-legged stuff because, well, Oceania is quite small and they decide to play the entire tournament in 2 weeks. But anyway, 40 minutes in here. We are on top. Auckland, they've not been kind of outclassed by us. They've actually had a lot more of the ball, and they do have a set piece here. Jimenez, Iago with the save. I thought he was going to drop it straight to one of their men, but he hasn't, and at half time it's still 1-0. I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. I mean, we're doing okay here. You know, we're on top, we're 1-0 up, but the stats show that it's anything but convincing at the moment. It's a very 50-50 game. They are having substantially more of the ball, and that does worry me just a little bit. I think I'm going to make some changes fairly early on in this half. And the change that I'm going to make is I'm going to drop both our wing-backs a little bit deeper, I think. Unfortunately for us, we've not got Hicks on the bench, who I usually gamble on having for this kind of situation. What to do? I can't really do the change that I wanted to do now with that revelation. Rivera hasn't had the worst game. I don't really want to sub him off. I'll tell you what, we'll stick with what we have at the moment. We might go a little bit more conservative towards the end of the game. But I mean, I guess we are on top now. Chettelberg strained his neck. Okay, well, we will make a change then. I've kind of had my hand forced here, haven't I? We'll bring on Paxton Gorski. We'll just go for a straight swap here. I don't know why, but for some reason when I'm recording with OBS, the interface doesn't work as it should, which is a little bit annoying. But there we go. We'll make that change there. Just a straight swap. Not going to change the shape just yet. Part of me wants to bring on Butler for Lozano. Lozano's not had the best game either, so we will make that change. We'll bring in Jake Butler, who it'd be quite fitting if we were to win a Champions League with him in the side. He's an older player now, you know, in his mid-30s. He's 32 or 33 now. He was the captain when we joined the club. He's a player who's been at the club for a long time. Bring him on, you know, get some experience in the centre of the midfield. Then we'll take off Chettelberg, of course, who was injured. And hopefully we can hold out in this game. There is 15 minutes left. I was about to switch to counter. Am I about to regret not changing sooner? They're on the attack. Iago, what a save, my son. Keeps us in it at 1-0. Now we just need to defend the set piece, which we will do. James, can you boot it clear? Can we counter now? Go on, Spectre. You have space. You have pace. Unfortunately, though, Antonio Carlos, one of Auckland City's main men there at left back, puts in a really good tackle to stop us breaking away. But with 8 minutes left, we're still on top. But it's not clear cut. The 1-goal margin still the difference. Although we are on the attack here. Paxton Gorski, the sub, inside to James. He runs on ahead. Gorski. Nice play here. Rivera shoots it, hits the post. It's somehow gone in. I don't know what's happened. Alex Ruffer bundles it over the line. I think Rivera shot. Keeper has parried it onto the post. And then the way I want to imagine it is the keeper's just not sure where the ball's ended up. You can see the keeper just doesn't seem to know. And he kind of knocks it And while Ruffer is the fastest player to react, makes it 2-0. And, well, we could be about to go to the final of another Oceanic Champions League. Gorski, Rivera makes it 3-0. We now are going to the final. It's not been an easy game, this one. 3-0 really flatters us. But we limited Auckland's chances. Iago with a massive save at 1-0. And, well, they've gone on the attack. They've gone chasing this game and we've punished them on the break. Rivera that time with the goal. Gorski, the sub, with the assist. And that is going to be all she wrote for this game. And, well, we have a chance at our second Champions League here in the HEXAGON. Granted, it's going to be the same Champions League we've already got. But I'm still very, very pleased about that. That was a great win. I'm going to say to the press, it's always nice to win. Looking at it, we've got a lot of goal scorers in this competition. 3-0, a really convincing performance, better finishing the difference. It's worth noting, actually, I've been getting really bad boys. I don't normally do my press conferences, and, well, so far this season, I've been feeling this disconnect, I guess, a little bit, because I don't really want to be in New Zealand, and I've not been doing my press conferences. And I think our media handling was at 70% at one point, and now it's at 27%. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you guys who love FM press conferences. They're just not really my thing. And, well, I've not done my job, have I, here? I've just sent my assistant a lot. Anyway, let's have a look at this. We are playing in the final. We're going to be taking on AS Tefana, who, I mean, they sound like an Oceanic team, don't they? Let's see where they are from. They're from Tahiti, who I believe actually beat New Zealand a few years ago to get to the Confederation Cup finals in Brazil, maybe before the World Cup. They don't have very good players. We should really thrash them. I say this, I mean, we are going to be a little bit tired. The semi-final only played 2 days before this competition. But at the same time, off the back of that Auckland win, we should be spanking this kind of team. Chelberg, unfortunately, out injured. Going to be out for 12 days to 2 weeks. I guess we'll bring in Paxton Gorski there. I guess we'll do that. Why is Payne playing at defensive mid for us? Oh, I guess Payne does play there. I don't know if I talked about Payne. I actually offered him a trial, I believe, during the World Club Championships. You guys might have even seen it, but he got released by Portland Timbers' second team. We picked him up. He's been a useful little player for us. He's a pretty good player, and he's a New Zealand international, and the fact that he's a New Zealander, you know, it's quite nice to have a few of these. We'll bring him into the side. He's a very good centre mid. He's not been playing so much recently, really, just because we have slightly better players. But yeah, I feel like we should be winning this now. If we lose this game, having beaten Auckland, I will be just a little bit annoyed. Of course, this is going to look really good on our CV if we can win this Oceanic Champions League. It's going to help our rep. It helped a lot, actually, after the competition last year to win this. You know, it did help our rep. It did perhaps improve our profile as a manager and kind of how we are seen in the world of football. And of course, we've moved to the French under-21 side. We might have a European campaign next season to look forward to, which should be nice. And if we could win this here, well, it's going to open some doors perhaps as we are on the attack. Gorski, back post, Spectre, saved, rebound. And, well, we give away a free kick there. A clear-cut chance after 10 minutes. A good sign. I just want to get ahead in this game as early as possible. That's the ideal. All right, okay, or we can concede a free kick. That works. What I was going to say was, this is the kind of game where I just want to get the lead early on, you know, score 3 or 4 at half-time, be nice and clear at the top of the table, not have to worry about too much. But right there, well, we've let them into this game, haven't we? It's worth noting, I believe, that this year's Champions League is being played in New Zealand, which is nice. We do have a little bit of a home turf advantage here. But still, we are 1-0 down, although we're not 1-0 down for long. Reniga with another goal. He scored one in the World Club Championship, you might remember, the left-back. He's got another for us there, the Kiwi. Ruffer collects the ball from the corner that was cleared away, and then he just passes the ball into the box. And I mean, it's a cutting pass. I'm surprised none of the defenders get there, but I'm not going to complain one little bit. Reniga, the Kiwi with the goal, and also, actually, Ruffer, who put in the pass, of course, is a Kiwi too. Although I have brought in a lot of Americans into the team, you know, through the American under-21s, but also because the agents of the few Americans I have obviously have other clients who have been offered to me and I've signed them through that. It's been nice to see, you know, the Kiwis really still play a role in the team. You know, we still do have a lot of them and they are still a core of our team. And, well, Ruffer has scored there. What a ball by Rivera, the American left winger. He has 18 finishing. He should have 18 passing. Looking at that, that was an incredible ball. I don't know whether the keeper could have come out to get this, but he didn't. And Rivera, well, that's just a crazy pass. It's a crazy ball. Debatably, the keeper should come for it, but it's kind of in that corridor of uncertainty. And while Ruffer now has a goal and an assist to his name here in this Champions League final, we're 2-1 up. I'd like to be a few more goals clear already. Looking at the stats, we've absolutely thumped them and demolished them so far this game. Just that early set-piece goal they got to go 1-0 up through perhaps a keeper mistake by Iago. Kind of has left this game not quite as open and kind of as clear as I'd like. I'm going to tell the players they've played well, but there's room for improvement. Pretty good reactions there. A few players perhaps struggling on condition. Tim Payne struggling, so I am actually going to take him off. We're going to bring on Jake Butler. Just a standard change. Pretty much the same change we made in the semi-final. Bringing on Jake. Experienced head. Not the strongest defensive midfielder in the team, at least in my opinion. But he's a very competent player there. Good experience he brings to the side. And in a final like this, in a big game, he's probably not going to dive into too many tackles. He shouldn't get sent off, and hopefully he can be kind of a mature head to help guide some of our younger players throughout the squad in this final, because we aren't going to need to put in a professional performance here because it is still only 2-1 with 30 minutes left, although we do have a set piece here. Butler with the header, Jake Butler on off the bench. I said we needed an intelligent head. Tell you what, he's put his head on that quite literally for the goal. James with the ball whipped in. I'm assuming this was a header from the corner, whipped in. And Jake Butler just leaps like a salmon. The defender on the line moves away and the keeper can't get near it. And it's 3-1 and we are looking now on course to win another Champions League here with Waitakere United as well. We get a penalty. It could be 4-1. This is going to be game, set and match if we score here. Tofano, they put up some resistance in the first half. They got that goal ahead. But James can now put them to the sword or he can just smash it wide. Why wasn't Jake Butler on that? Oh dear. One to forget there for James, although he has got the assist for the Butler goal. He's involved in play there and we will have a chance. Gorski, keep it in, don't shoot. Nice play. Rivera hammers it in. He got a nice assist in the first half. That is a goal for him. His 28th of the season. It's 4-1. Nice goal. Paxton Gorski keeps the ball in play. Links up with his American counterpart at the back post. And Rivera just places it in super nicely. Makes it 4-1. We're not going to kind of dwell on that penalty miss. We've moved on from that. We've got another goal. I'm going to bring on Josh Noto, I think, for Spectre. Noto, who I mentioned, he was a massive player for the first half of this season, really. Unfortunately, his torn hamstring has kind of kept him out the first team. But we're going to bring him on for the final. Give him a chance to run out his legs. See if he's still got his shooting boots. He's not had that regular first team football, really, since Christmas. That injury really has hurt him. But we'll give him a chance here, welcome him back to the first team in this final. It's 4-1. We might have a chance to make it 5. Noto gets the ball, he fires it in. I don't think it was offside, it wasn't. He comes on off the bench for the goal. What a finish that was. A nice ball again by Rivera out on the left. A really deep cross this time. And that's a crazily good pass. The keeper really should be meeting that in his 6-yard box. He's got his feet all wrong there, but Noto with the finish makes it 5-1. We are going to win our second Oceanic Champions League. Unfortunately, that doesn't count as 2/6 of the hexagon down, but it is going to help us. I feel like the relegation with Beijing IT has hurt us just a little bit in terms of trying to find that job. I'm hoping that this win here, this competition, is going to help us kind of, I guess, move up the managerial ladder. It's a 5-1 win. 5 different goal scorers as well. Really pleasing to see. And we've done it. We've done it. Great play there. Chelsea winning the Premier League. I will just go on the League in Focus screen. If you want to pause at this point here and have a look at the league winners and where teams are towards the end of the season, feel free to. I've not done that too much in this save. Most of the teams here are European. I don't know if I click off and I click back on. No, it doesn't change which teams are on show. Next episode, I'll try and remember to put a different selection of leagues for you guys to look at. But we've won another Champions League. It's the same one again, but I'm not going to complain one little bit. Back-to-back kind of Oceanic Champions League winners. We get a little bit of prize money there. We enter the New Zealand Hall of Fame. Let's have a look at it. Where are we? We're in 6th. A few Waitakere managers up there with us. We now sit in 6th place there. Pretty pleasing to do. I believe if we win the league with not long left, that'll help too. But yeah, we've won the Champions League. The board are absolutely delighted by that. People are loving it. Anthony Hudson, the New Zealand manager, was there to watch the game, so we've seen a lot of our players perform there. Squad get paid £100 in bonuses. They're going to love that. You can see here Tofano, who we beat. It was a tournament to remember for them. They really overachieved to reach the final. Diego Rivera with the most goals and the most assists. What a tournament he had in the 2-week period. The advanced forward turned left winger. He's been a really good player for us out on the left. And yeah, well, you can see here, 17 goals and 9 assists in the league alone, but he's got 28 goals and 20 assists in all competitions. There's a few players here who knows, it might be nice to bring them along for the ride wherever we end up next time. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this episode from me. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode. A nice win in the Oceanic Champions League. Next episode is probably going to be wherever we end up. I am going to be leaving Waitakere at the end of the season. I've made that decision. I might even do a little edit, sneak it in at the start of next episode, kind of a little rundown of how we finished things up here at the club. Thoroughly enjoyed my time in New Zealand though, but it is time to move on. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, please do smash the like button. And other than that, guys, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.